Okay, so let's pick up where we left off in the last session, and we will go through the four and a half moves that we know, and look for the microcosmic orbit, the Dumai up and down the back, the Renmai up and down the front, and see if you can identify those. This identification and the use of those channels is the beginning of real Tai Chi. Just learning the choreography, that's not Tai Chi. That's, like I said before, that's your ticket to get into the big tent. But what's inside the big tent is your energy, is your energy channels, right? So, and I demonstrate. I'll demonstrate. Just hold on, because we have at least one student who was not here earlier. If I'm doing, I'm just going to use the stick as a prop. If I'm doing a front to back circle, a Lee circle, I'm not doing that with my arms and my arm muscles. Of course they're involved, but they're not primarily involved. What I'm primarily using is my mind and my energy body. All right? And by energy body, I mean something very real. It's just as real as your physical body. You could say your physical body is like the glove, your energy body is like the hand. All right? So this is about getting to know the hand. And of course, you already know it, you use it all the time. All right? Up the back, over the top of the head, down the front. When you go up the back, you're using the Dumai channel that runs from the bottom of the crotch up to the top of the head. When you're coming down the front, you're using the Renmai channel, which goes from the top of the head to the bottom of the crotch. All right? So they complement each other. They're all right? 1, 2, up the back, down the front. Or you could reverse the energy and move it up the front and then down the back. Up the front, down the back, or up the back, down the front. Those two channels control the energy in the front of the body and control the energy, the back and the front of the body, and they control the energy whenever you're making a Lee circle, a front to back circle. So in the Tai Chi form, the very first 3 circles are Lee circles. Up the front, down the back, about to the level of the solar plexus, and then all the way down to the crotch, and up the back, and down the front, all the way to the crotch again, and now up, right, to about the level of the solar plexus, through the body, and down. All right, so the atomic structure of that is a circle backward, a circle forward, another circle backward. All the fancy dancy stuff with your hands really rests on that simple geometry. It's like if you look at one of the famous Renaissance paintings with, 12 people and they're all doing this or that. But if you have a good guide, a good docent who can help you look at how the artist has structured the painting to guide your eye, for instance, in a big circle around the painting. So the different figures doing different things are guiding your eye through. It's not just random. It's usually very carefully structured. Same thing with this. Now, we have one student here, Barbara, who, or excuse me, Eleanor, who was not here earlier. So I'm going to open up the curtains again so we can see the blackboard and talk about the little picture I drew in there of what we're doing. Right. So the big yellow dot in the middle is your daimai, right underneath your navel. Or you can even think of it as the navel. Next week, we're going to have a little visual art with. I'm going to put up a picture of. God, his name is escaping me right now, but I'm going to put up a picture of the Vitruvian Man. And I'm sure you all know the Vitruvian Man. He's standing in a big circle, and the circle has been squared, etc., etc. The exact center of that drawing, Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, the exact center of that picture is his navel. Right? This is the center of the body. It's not just the center you were born from, it's still your center. That's that big yellow dot in the middle. I may have drawn it a little off center, but it should be on center. Growing up out of that and down from that is the Chongmai, right? Zhongmai, Chongmai, the central column. Now, that actually goes down underneath as well as up above. And of course, it's a stand-in for your spine. But it's more than just the spine. It's actually the flow of energy up and down through the body. All right? And we've talked about some of the complex things you can do with that before. We'll come back to them later. But that's the #1 channel in the body. All your life and rotation is around the Chongmai. And then around the waist level is another channel, a second channel called the Daimai. And Daimai means a belt meridian. So it's just like a belt that you're wearing, except of course, when I drew it, I just drew it as a thin little line. It's not thin. Right? The Chongmai is not thin, the Daimai is not thin, the Renmai is not thin, the Dumai is not thin. These are floods of energy. So this is just a way of kind of picturing them. But don't get stuck in the picture. Right? The finger is pointing at the moon, but the point is not the finger. The point is the moon. Right? Don't get stuck in this drawing. These are giant floods of energy that go up the back, down the front, around the waist, up and down the spine. Right? In fact, the Chinese word mai, as in Renmai, Dumai, Zhongmai, means a channel right now. Right? I mean, currently, today. But thousands of years ago, when the word was first developed, it meant a flood. Not the channel the flood was in, but the flood itself. So thinking of these as a flood, I think, is really appropriate. Now we've added 2 more channels to this drawing, and that is the Dumai up and down the back, and the Renmai up and down the front. Right? The Daimai controls all horizontal ping circles. Let me close this circle now, and we can talk about it. If you're going to make a ping circle, a flat, level circle. Then you're going to use the daimai around the waist. You can feel it. You can feel it go around the waist. Or reverse. If you're going to make a front to back circle, you're going to use the dumai in the back and the renmai in the front. The dumai in the back goes from the bottom of the torso, the crotch, up to the top of the head. The renmai comes from the top of the head back down to the bottom of the crotch. So they make a circle. That circle is called the microcosmic orbit. It's the same microcosmic orbit that you find in yoga for exactly the same reason. It's describing an actual function inside the human body. All right, so if I want to make, let me use my stick again. If I want to make a circle, a front to back circle, and I'm just using the stick as a visual prop, right? The point is, the secret to the circle is not in the stick. It's in your body. It's not in your arms or your shoulders. It's in your trunk, right? And specifically, it's in the dumai up and down the back and the renmai up and down the front. Up the back, over the top of the head, down the front, under the crotch. Up the back, over the top of the head, down the front, under the crotch, or reverse. Up the front, over the top of the head, down the back, under the crotch, up the front, and so on. Once you get that, your Qigong and the Tai Chi that grows out of your Qigong should be based on those inner circles. That's why Tai Chi is moving meditation, because you are meditating, you are contemplating on those energy channels and the flow of energy through those channels all the time, from beginning to end, without breaking. So Eleanor, what I said in the last class, and I'm sure you've all heard me say it before, and you'll hear me say it again. Tai Chi is not about the choreography. The choreography, which is very complex, and it will take you years to learn it, that's not the point, right? That's just the ticket to get into the big tent. What's inside the big tent is the flow of energy. And the secret to it is understanding these channels and using your mind to trace those channels out, knowing that where your mind goes, your chi will follow. All right? Your mind, I don't have, let me find, oh, I thought I had a coin around here. Suppose I had a coin. I don't know where my coin went. I've got a coin here between my, it's an invisible coin, right? Your mind and your chi are the two sides of a single coin. In Chinese, it's called yi qi. Yi meaning mind, and qi meaning energy. Yi qi. It becomes one word. Right? So when you move, it's not your body moving, it's your mind. And your energy follows your mind, and your physical body follows your energy. Right? It's a very different way of thinking about movement, of thinking about being. Right? Now, the most important thing, in a way, of all this stuff has to do with clarity of mind. Because there's a bazillion things you got to learn to do this really well. And no matter how much you learn, there's always more to learn, all right? So how do you do what Catherine's doing right now? Just playing around, right? And enjoying yourself. Boom, boom. You do it by relaxing. Right? You have to do this with a clear mind. Well, what's a clear mind? A clear mind is a quiet mind, which is why we do so much standing meditation. It's just to quiet down a little bit inside, just to relax, right? And quiet down and get clear, and then move inside that clarity. So it's like having a clear sky inside you. So your inner bird can fly through that clear sky rather than stormy weather, all right? Okay, let's do the first three motions of the first movement. Up the front, over the top of the head, down the back to the solar plexus, and then forward. And now all the way down to the base of the spine, up the back, over the top of the head, down the front again to the base of the spine, and then reverse it again. Now up the front, through the body at the solar plexus, and down the back. Boom, all the way to the ground. So in a sense, it's very, very simple. It's very simple. Do it in your mind. Feel it in your body. Now, I'll finish talking in a second. To learn the first Tai Chi form takes about 2 years. It's quite a mountain to climb. It's actually, believe it or not, it's actually the hardest thing you'll ever do in Tai Chi. You can learn other forms after that that are much bigger and much harder athletically, etc., etc. But they're actually easier to learn because you've got that first form. But what are you learning? You're learning an outer choreography so that you can get at the inner choreography. That's the real Tai Chi. All right? It's this inner movement. I don't have it queued up right now, but one of my Tai Chi brothers sent me a video of a Chinese Tai Chi master. Looked like he was in his kitchen or his bedroom or who knows what, talking with a couple of friends and demonstrating some very simple martial applications. And you watch him do this and you go, because he's just sort of throwing these guys around, right? How is he doing this? He's not a young spring chicken, right? How is he doing that? He's following the functions that I'm teaching you now. Some other functions on top of that. But what it does, when you really get this, what it does is it gives you a whole new body, so to speak. Yeah, your physical body is just the same old physical body that was always there. Hopefully it will be in better shape, all right? But in addition to that, you get this whole second body that you kind of always had ever since you were a little kid, but you just never really did anything with. Maybe you didn't even know it was there. In the West, we don't even know it's there. So it gives you that, and if you learn how to use it, it won't make you stronger, because strength comes from your physical body. What it will do is make you more powerful, because it teaches you ways to use your body's strength in a way that's kind of almost sort of miraculous, right? But It's just inherent in what you are as a human being. Tai Chi and Qigong will not give you anything that you don't already have. It's just a matter of recognizing what you have and training it up so you can actually use it. So if like me, you are getting a little older in life, what it does is it quote unquote keeps you young, and it makes you stronger, so to speak. So you can, within limits, you can still do things that a lot of folks at age, I'm past 70 now, that a lot of folks at this age can't do anymore because you've got this other body, so to speak, that you're using to do it. And of course, the main reason is it's fun. So I don't know whether you guys can see Catherine, but she's really practicing. She's really doing some Tai Chi there. She's just fooling around. She's just fooling around and doing some circles. But that's actually what Tai Chi actually is. When you learn a form, you're learning the very formal side of it. But there's a whole nother informal side in it. Right? And the reason to study the formal side is to get to the informal. The reason to study the structure and science of music is to get to improvisation, with some real knowledge. And it's the same with this. All right, let's go on to the shoe circles. Up the front, over the top of the head, down the back, forward. Down to the base of the spine, up the back, down the front. And now reverse it, up the front and down the back, all the way to the ground and up, up. Are you coming up the front or are you coming up the back? It matters. What should you be doing? Up, down. Are you using your back to go up or your front? Are you using your front to come down or your back? All right. How do you know? Well, two ways. One, you have to understand the Xin Yi of the movement. That is, what's the mental intention of the movement? Because depending on what your mental intention is, that's going to determine what you should be doing, of course. The other way is just to feel inside your body. All right. So what do you mean, feel inside your body? Well, try it on your back, try it in your front, see what happens. Try it in your front. You're coming up your front, going down your back. Try the other one. Come up the back, down the front. All right? So you can do it either way, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. All right? Now, I use my back. Come up the back, over the top of the head, and then down the front. Because when you're coming down, what you're doing is closing. Your whole body's closing like a big clamshell, right? Close, 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 right? Well, you can feel that's kind of in front, right? It's like your body closing, right? You're going to be in your lumbar area, right? Back here, close. When you open, well, you're going to be in your chest, right? Chest, lower back. Right? So when you close, the energy is in the renmai, and it's going like this. When you're opening, right, it's in the back, and the back is opening. Close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Up the back, down the front. Up the back, down the front. Up the back, down the front. There's a complication to this. How can I say? Complication, maybe not the right word. There's another aspect of this that I mentioned in the earlier class, and that is whenever you're using Lee circles, you're also going to be using your Chong Mai. So you're actually using 3 channels: the Du Mai up and down the back, the Chong Mai in the center of the body, and the Ren Mai up and down the front. The Chong Mai opens and closes your body. Open, close. 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 All right? It's just like a bungee cord. You stretch that bungee cord, you let it close. You stretch it, you relax it. You stretch it, you relax it. And then on top of that, you add the microcosmic orbit. So you stretch it open and come up your back. You let it close and you come down your front. Stretch it open, come up your back, relax it, and come down your front. Stretch it open, come up your back, let it relax, and come down your front. And you go, oh my God, you mean I got to think about all that stuff? Yes, you do. You do until you've got it. And then you don't have to think about it anymore. It just becomes automatic. So if you're an art, if you're a visual artist, a painter, let's say you're a watercolorist, right? And or you decide you want to become a watercolorist. They're so beautiful, right? You're looking at beautiful watercolors from the history of art. You go, oh, I want to do watercolor, and it looks so easy. Watercolor is very difficult. It's very easy just to splash a little water in and put some, but to get the freshness and spontaneity of watercolor is very difficult, actually. So let's just focus on one little aspect of it. You want to mix a certain green, right? How are you going to mix that green? Let's say you're going to have to mix the green. So you're going to have to take a blue and a yellow and mix the green. And you mix it and you go, well, that isn't the green I want. Well, maybe you started with the wrong blue. Maybe you started with maybe you mixed the blue with a yellow with a lot of red in it. All right, so a cadmium yellow. So it's got a lot of, and instead of getting green, you get a kind of brown. All right. Well, it may actually be a beautiful color, but nevertheless, you have to learn the pigment system, and every pigment system is different for every medium. Watercolor is different than gouache, that is different than oil colors, that's different than acrylics, right? Even though they call them by the same name, they're going to mix in different ways. And you have to learn all that. There's a whole science to it, right? And oh God, you really got to work on that until you've worked with it long enough that you don't have to think about it anymore. You know which colors to use to mix a color. You know about the proportions you want to work with. You develop an underlying sense of this, right? And then once you've got that science down, then you can become an artist. Right? The whole point's not to become a technician, it's to become an artist. But to become an artist, you must become a technician. It's the same thing with this. All right? Stretch that stretch the Chong Mai, stretch it, relax it. Stretch it, relax it. Stretch it, relax it. Stretch it, relax it. All right? Stretch it, relax it. 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 From the beginning to the end, the Zhongmai opens and closes, or stretches and relaxes. All right? Then you got to learn, well, where do I stretch it and relax it? You stretch it and relax it where you need to, where the function follows. Right? If somebody's pushing on me here, I'm going to stretch my Zhongmai. They push, I stretch. I'm not fighting them. I'm just stretching inside. Right? And then, let me see if I can get Annie in here. Annie, are you available? So she's gonna come in. The nice thing about this is, in a certain way, it's very simple. It's going to follow a very simple pattern. The pattern is this, yin and yang, right? It's going to stretch, and when it's stretched, it's going to relax. And then it's going to stretch, and then it's going to relax. Those are the only two options, right? Then it's just a matter of getting the rhythm.
The downside of farm life is my allergies are going crazy.
Annie was out at her sister's farm yesterday, and her allergies are kicking in. Her daughter's farm, well, sister now, right? So suppose Annie was a mean guy, and she was pushing. She decided she's going to push on my chest, right? So one of the things you should do immediately is you don't want to collapse. So suppose she starts to go ahead, push on my chest a little bit, and I just collapse. That is, I'm closing the Zhongmai. She's just, I'm just going to fall over, right? You can feel that collapsing, correct?
Yeah.
You push into that collapse, and the guy will just fall over, right? So instead, when she comes in to push on me, I'm going to stretch the Zhongmai. Right? So she's actually pushing pretty hard, right? I'm not doing anything to her. I'm just stretching the Zhongmai inside, right? When you do that, and she's pushing in, your body's acting as if it were a trampoline. Now instead of flat, now it's turned up on its edge. She's pushing in. She's giving me energy. When you stretch, you're stealing her energy. Literally, physically, right? Boom, and then you come on top of her, and now you collapse, right? Now you let the Zhongmai. So it's open to receive the energy, and then boom. That's called brushing the chest, and we do it in the fourth movement, right? Right here. Right here. You start by stretching. Stretch. And now relax. Thank you. Right? So that the stretching and relaxing in that one little place is determined by what you're trying to accomplish. You stretch because you're receiving the energy, and then you relax because now you're getting rid of that guy. It's called brushing the chest. Right? Oh, the guy's putting his hands. He's putting his hands on me. Stretch. Stretch. And now you want to get rid of him. You want to just brush his hands off. Relax. So what gets rid of this guy, brushes his hands off, is not really your arms. It's really this. Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax. That relax, you're going to give the energy you've stolen from him back to him. You stretch and you take his energy into your body. And then, boom, you give it back to him. But you've given it back to him in such a way that it's going to knock him off. Annie, come in here and tell him about the time I did that to you accidentally. She refuses to come in. One time, Annie was asking, I was a demonstration or something, and I did it, and I actually did it. And I didn't mean to do it. I was busy talking, and I just kind of actually did it. The word she used to describe it is shocking. It's literally shocking. I mean, like you've just been electrocuted or something. It feels like a shock going through your body.
Yeah, I was fixing to get mad.
She's coming. She's going to tell you the story.
Yes, he was demonstrating on me, as he does, and he did. The energy went through me and came out the back, and it was so shocking. My first response was to get really mad.
I knew I was in trouble.
But then I quickly realized, oh, it didn't actually hurt. It was shocking, but it wasn't painful.
Yeah.
It was something.
It was something.
It was something.
It was it's literally like getting a shock, isn't it?
You can feel the energy moving through your body. I can feel it, and then it popped out the back.
Yeah.
Because you were doing something, you were popping me somehow.
Yeah.
And then I recovered my composure and
decided not to smack me.
And didn't hit you because we were with the class.
Yes.
I thought, why not be?
I had already backed up considerably by that time.
Had.
Right. I was at least an arm's length away by that time.
Yes.
So that was my fault. I sort of did it without really thinking. But when you've had it done to you, you can't believe it. It's not like anything else you've ever experienced. And the first impression is like it literally feels like a physical shock through the body. What you've done is give somebody your chi, right? Boom. It's not your arms forcing down. It's this inside the body. Boom. And the arms are just transferring the chi. All right? So, well, you probably don't want to be a martial artist, even though I love it. But it's a way of seeing what you can do with your energies. All right? It's not like Tai Chi has this energy and you learn Tai Chi and you're going to get that energy. You've already got the energy. All right? It's already in you. Tai Chi is just like a microscope or something to help you see what's going on inside. All right? This is the dantian. It's rolling this way. It's rolling from this side to this side. From this side to this side. It's rolling this way. Well, guess what? That takes that hand down and this hand up. It's rolling this way. And shift your weight. If you were doing this in a martial application, you're catching the guy's hand or wrist and pulling it down, and then you're coming up behind and catching him at the elbow. Take the wrist, pull it down, come up to the elbow. Shift your weight. That's where your power comes from, is your legs just shifting your weight. Turn your waist. Spin your dantian. Now all that motion creates the wave, and then your arms just transfer the wave into the other guy. So as with all Tai Chi moves, you can kind of do this at two levels. So this guy's trying to poke you in the nose, right? You catch his wrist, pull it down, and then you come up behind his elbow. That gives you 2 points on his arm, and now you can just move him aside. He's already coming this direction because he's trying to punch you in the nose. So you catch, boom, and push him over there. No harm, no foul, as Annie says. If he's a really mean guy and you've got to get him out of the fight, right? Then when you catch and pull down and you come up under his elbow, you break his elbow. Right? If you were really to do this in real life, you know, punch comes in really fast. Shift your weight, turn your waist, rotate your dantian. Catch his wrist, come up under his elbow. Now, when we do the form, we don't do it nearly so vigorously. You just do it like this. And then go on. What you're practicing is using your mind to practice these energy channels. You don't have to do it real martial, real fiercely. You just do it very gently. One side's going down, the other side's coming up. It's turning. All right? It's all just happening together. I mean, doesn't it just feel like a dance step? Let's do it within the form itself. Very soft, very gentle. But you have to know, to truly get at the Tai Chi, you've got to know all this color tape stuff, part of it, right? Well, you know, what we're learning right now is not really this part. What we're really learning right now is just the outer choreography. Right side pulls down, left side comes up, shift your weight. And then you go on from there. So the point of learning the choreography is then to go on to the deeper levels of this stuff. Genevieve, am I making this clear?
I think last Sunday's practice I watched on video and it was really all about turning your waist. And
Yeah.
I feel like today's class is a continuation of that. Like you have to turn your waist, but also turn your danshen front and back.
Yes, exactly.
And so to me, it is clear.
Good. To learn the science of this takes a number of years. But when you finally, and I'm trying to simplify it and just use the simplest possible language to describe this, once you've got it and you've got all the science, you go, oh, well, it's actually very simple. Yes, it is. It's actually quite simple, right? You're moving in 3 dimensions. Each dimension has a name. You're moving in circles in those dimensions. Each of those circles is mediated by an energy channel, or perhaps 2 or 3 energy channels. So you learn all that stuff, you practice it, and you start to go, oh, yeah, actually, it's pretty simple once you sort of have it all, right? But then I've had great pianists tell me that keyboard is very simple too, and then try to teach me. All right, so just stick with it. Tomorrow we'll go on to and finish out the 5th move, and then next week we'll do the 6th move, so you will have the full first section of the first form. Okay, guys, you all have a good day. We're going to go on to the advanced class. You're welcome to stick around for that if you like, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao.